Hi there, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking here at, I guess, a fairly popular car in Japan is these original Minis. Aside from, the UK, Japan's probably the only country that really loved these, especially in the 80s, 90s, and up until the very end to the 2000. I guess year 2000 was the final year. This one here is a 1994 Mini, according to the auction in Japan. This is a fuel-injected model, so I think maybe the second year of the fuel-injected ones. Okay, and this is going to be a post-purchase inspection video. This one was bought from auction for export over to Canada. Okay, so I'm going to show more of the engine in a second. I'm just going to turn the engine off because these Minis tend to have weird electrical interference with the camera's microphone. I think it's like old school style shielding. I don't know if there was any issue with that, but yeah. Okay, so here's something interesting. This one here, the auction sheet, calls this one a Rover Mini 1300cc. As far as I can tell, this is actually a Mini Cooper, which has about a 20 to 30% higher value than the regular version of the Minis, because the Cooper is the sports car version of the Mini, or the faster version. Now, the first thing that I noticed is the VIN number here should be a Cooper VIN, judging by the letters that are on there. It is the original VIN number. You can see the plate over there. And then when we got the car, it has the green engine, and it has the Mini Cooper sticker. Now, some people could put a Mini Cooper sticker onto the engine, but that doesn't look like that sticker has been there for a long time. Or it looks like it has been there for at least as long as the engine's been around. And it says Kent cams on it. And it kind of idles like a car that has high lift camshafts in it. And so this is going to be a little bit faster than your regular version of the Mini, just because it's what I believe to be a Cooper. And then with the Kent cams, it'll be able to breathe a little bit better. And so that means it'll be a little bit faster than that. Now the stock Mini 1000 is around 37 horsepower. I think the Mini Coopers were somewhere around 70. You're probably only gaining a few horsepower extra from the high lift camshafts. The engine revs really freely, and so that's very cool. Probably you'll get a little bit more power in the upper RPM bands from your extra camshaft there. So oil is good, coolant is good, no signs of any troubles in here. There's a push and a pull fan in this one. The radiator's off to the side because obviously no room here because there is an alternator. There's a shield that goes on here to make sure you don't cut your fingers off if the engine's running and you try to pop the hood. But this one you can cut your fingers off if you're not careful, because the hood releases on this side, and not all Minis have it on this side, but yeah, kind of silly. A few different interesting things about this car compared to other Minis, and I will mention them as we go, but the first one here is, this one has a grille with the external hood release instead of the one inside the car, and I believe that changed in the late 70s. And so this one being a 94, having this, they went through the effort of converting it over to an external release just for the styling. And then this front grille also has quick release too. You undo these knobs with your fingers, just the two knobs, and then you can take that front grille off if you want to do any work on the car. And so kind of it's a race car part. I also believe that this front bumper is aftermarket, because I don't think the 94s came with these vertical things, and I think they were looking to make this one look like the Mini Cooper S of the 1960s, from various things such as, well, the wheels and the back fuel tanks and stuff like that. I'll get to that in a sec. Fuel injected engine ones, I've never had any problems with any of them. I kind of prefer the carbureted ones just because I like my car smelling like gasoline when it's a Mini. But the fuel injected ones are really nice. They're very responsive for a fuel injected engine. And probably easier to start in all weather conditions and temperatures. Okay, I believe that the previous owner has converted this one over to fender mirrors. I think it originally would have come with the mirrors mounted here, and then they have redone it so that the holes no longer exist there. In the later Japanese Minis, they have a cover that covers over the holes that are typically there. This one, it looks like they body smoothed it, which is what they call it in Japanese. Okay, a lot to go over here. I'm sorry. 4 minutes in, I haven't gone over the auction sheet. Let's do that now. So, 1994, I'll just take it down because there's an antenna in the way. 1994 Rover Mini, auction read 3.5, interior C, and it's 15,445 kilometers, but that's unknown mileage because it says down here the center, this one has been converted to, or from, the regular gauges, which are in front of the steering wheel, to the center gauges of the earlier model from the 1960s up until like maybe late 1970s or maybe mid 1970s. They had the center gauges. 10-inch wheels. Something special about those I'll mention in a second. Winter tires come inside the car. They come over there, and you can have them if you want, but oddly you can't ship them when they're mounted, so you have to take them off and pay for that. Driver's seat is ripped 10 centimeters. It's a color changed car. It's not the original blue. Cool though, it was color changed inside the car too. So the whole floor, you can see in here, has been color changed as well. And so that's a nice little bonus on a color changed car. Okay, steering wheel scratch, various scratches, dents, and paint wave, center floor scratched and dented. And this one was an imported car, quite possibly, is what they said, but they don't know for certain if it was imported or not. Okay, so the body is clean all the way around. It has W3 on the roof. It's a different color. W3 means a poor quality repaint. I couldn't find anything wrong with it, but then again, it's also wet because it's raining right now. And unfortunately, it's a rainy season in Japan, and so every day is like this, and we can't do business if we can't shoot the cars in the rain. So sorry about that to everyone who wants to see a W3 on the roof. W3 usually means very poor quality. But no rust on the roof. Actually, the rain gutter in the back has a little bit of an area in here that's just starting, but it hasn't become problematic yet. And so touch that up when you get the car. Other than that, it just says a U2 on the back, which is a medium-sized dent. Let's have a quick look at that. Here it is. In the back bumper. These bumpers are easy to remove and replace. Okay, well, let's do the once around here. You'll notice that the wheels, there's no over fenders on it. It came with over fenders. One of them blew off while it was driving here. And then the wheels here are an aftermarket 10-inch wheel, which is odd because the early model ones came with 10s, including the Cooper S of the 1960s. But these ones would have come with 12s and disc brakes in the front. The old ones were all drum brake all the way around. And to my knowledge, Mini never made a disc brake system that fits with the 10-inch wheels, because the disc brakes came in at the same time as the 12 inches came in, and then you couldn't go backwards to a 10-inch wheel with those disc brakes. I believe that all of the brakes that are disc brakes that work with the 10s are aftermarkets. And so I did check. We got drum brakes in the back and disc brakes in the front, and they appear to be an aftermarket disc brake. And so it's a fairly expensive conversion to go over to a smaller wheel size, but the 10-inch wheels are pretty unique and pretty cool. Also, at auction, the car came with just white wheels. These chrome caps were in the trunk, so I put them on. You can see some marks around the fenders for where the fender flares used to be. And I got 3 of the 4 over here. Unfortunately, the one that blew off happened when the driver didn't notice. And so we don't know where that is. And they were just put on with tape, like double-sided tape. And obviously it wasn't sticky enough because blow it off. And my original Mini had no fender flares too. And I quite like the look of the no fender flares version. Although these 10-inch tires are a little bit too wide, so they poke out a bit, as you can see there. Okay, this one, 2 fuel tanks. What? 2 fuel tanks? Yeah, the original Cooper S's, for racing, they needed more gas because they only had tiny little fuel tanks. And so instead of making the fuel tank bigger, what they did is they made another fuel tank and put it in the opposite corner. Sadly, this one doesn't actually have another fuel tank. You can see this one has the larger fuel tank. The other one was half the size, I believe, or around that size. And so this one has the larger fuel tank, but it doesn't have anything on this side. And if you look inside here, you can see it's just been bolted onto the body. It looks like a real gas filler, and so you could get a tank and put it in if you wanted to. I think it would be very cool to have 2 gas tanks in one of these. And even without having the extra gas tank, having that cap on the back, for people who know Minis, it's going to be like a little Easter egg for you. And there's no rust inside there, so that's good. Aftermarket exhaust. Sounds pretty angry. And yeah, you can see, oh, this one here, you may have seen a little flap coming off of these sometimes. That's to catch gasoline, because this can happen. It's very easy to drip gasoline onto there compared to other cars. Okay, nice and clean all the way down. Possible that the underside has had repairs done to it. The sill is awfully clean for a car of this age, but no signs of bubbling or rusting. Okay, windows all look good. Sometimes these ones can get these weird stripes in them. These ones are pop-out style windows at the back. I don't know when they stopped that, but I think it was in the like 96. Right now you can, let me see if I can reach back there. You can pop it out, which is helpful to fit people in the back seat. It actually does give you a little extra room. Pop that back in. Okay, so regular door cards here. And here's the interior. That's an aftermarket steering wheel, but I believe that it is an original mini steering wheel, just not the one that originally came on this car. It has Cobra seats, and I'm not a big fan of Cobra seats. I don't like how they're fixed back, and I don't like how slanted the back of them are. Also, here's the rip on the seat that they were talking about. And they didn't mention, but rips in that seat. But these cushions come out. And so you can convert them if you want, or easily. Oh, there. Yeah, rips in that seat. They are real Cobra seats, but no, I don't like them. And then look at this. They just flip up with the hand. There's no way that they secure onto the bottom like the regular mini seats do. And then if you want to adjust them, you can adjust these screws on the back, and then there are different positions here. I find the current position that they're in to be rather poor. And then if you get in an accident, woo, you're going up. I mean, the seatbelt will stop you, but it's a single point for the weight of you and the seat now. Instead of, yeah, I don't know. If it were my car, I'd change over to different seats. And there are a lot of aftermarket mini options for seats. So, yeah. This is, yeah, center gauges there. You can see what that looks like. Gives you a tray to put stuff in. This is very original style. This one also has an aftermarket Smith's tack. For some reason, many people love the brand Smith's. I don't know why you would want to, as an English car owner, want to go with another English brand, but yeah. Red carpets with black sub carpets, I guess. And then it's not a full set, it's front and back separate, so you get this little metal in the middle there. Still have the late model, this one, but then this has been switched over to a different one. Shifting is good, 4-speed like they all are. There are no 5 speeds unless you went with aftermarket, and those are very rare from what I've seen. And then you want to get into reverse, you pull up and reverse. Very easy to shift all of those. Easy to start, no power steering, but it doesn't matter because it's very easy to steer when you actually start going. Doesn't smell bad inside, no signs of rust, no signs of like tobacco smoke. Look at the coolest little sticker on that. You can put 80s sunglasses in, a tape, or 500 yen. And look at this, you can put a cup in here or something. I don't know what else you're going to put in here. CD player, aftermarket speakers in the back. Headliners are a little bit discolored around it, but it's fine. No big deal. And I am, here we go, really lean back here. This is way too much lean for me. My regular driving position for a Mini would be right here. I could adjust it with those adjustments at the bottom, but I don't know. Some people like to be gangsters when they're driving. It looks like the seat might be a little bit further away from the pedals, but I've never had a problem in a Mini. It's a different seating position than regular, but you have a lot of room here for knees if you need, and you just might have to tell your passenger to move their knees out of the way when you're shifting. I should clip this closed so it doesn't pop out every time I close the door. Okay, end of the video there. So it looks like a win if this is in fact a Cooper. I would say that I'm pretty confident that it is, but I don't want to say 100% because I don't want to be wrong about that. But with that VIN number, you can check it. There's lots of stuff on the internet that can help with that. Okay, so there we have it. It's a 1994 Mini Cooper with some modifications to it. And so if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching and have a nice day.